can see, there is still a gap in my table saw top, and I want to fill it with something useful. Yes, and as you already correctly guessed, a router should go in there. And this router should also be easy to use. So I built this router lift. So let me show you some details. Well, this is the router I have had for a long time already, and I want to use it for this project. There are probably routers that are easier to install in a table like this, but I work with what I have. Like every project, this one started with some research on YouTube as well. And here I saw that many router lifts are operated from the top, but I didn't want that. I wanted to adjust the height from the side. And there are also exciting ideas on how this can be achieved. For example, to use some bicycle brake cable and a pulling mechanism. Of course, I will put the link of this video in the description. On Jay Bates' channel we can see another great idea of a router lift mechanism. So with these, among a few more inspiring ideas, I'm off to the drawing board. My first idea was then to use something like a Scott Russell mechanism that could be operated from the side. And this is how it would work. Here you have a fixed point that only allows rotation. Now if you push against this point, then this results in a vertical upward movement, as you can see on the picture here. So this is down and this is up. But the whole thing seemed to be a little bit over the top, so I thought about simpler options, for example a lever mechanism. And finally, after a lot of thinking, I decided to use a piece of bicycle chain, 2 threaded rods, some sprockets and some DIY wooden gears. And this is the result. The gears I made out of hardwood. It's an involute gear and a crown gear. And they're working absolutely fine, perfect for the job. Here you can see the nuts which are pushing the router up when the shredded rods are turning. At the spots where the sprockets and the gears are mounted, I drilled through the threaded rod and put a pin through so that nothing can slip. Another important detail is that the rod is not going the whole way up to the tabletop, because I thought it might be in the way when I have to reach the locking mechanism for the spindle. But like this, there's no problem at all, it easily can be reached. And to change the spindle speed is no problem either. In a few spots I mounted these 608ZZ ball bearings, because they are very easy to get and they are very cheap. You even can buy them in a sports shop because often they are mounted in roller blades. The sprockets are made out of an old piece of sheet metal. I tried using sprockets from a bicycle, but the chain kept slipping off. The homemade ones are definitely better. Well, I guess the sprockets for bicycles are often made for gear shifting, and then the chain has to slip sideways off and down easily. Okay, now let's have a look how we can mount the whole thing into the table. Well, some people drill holes in the edge of the table to mount a rail on which the router lift sits. This is definitely something I want to avoid. That's why I mounted these angle irons on the rails, and you don't need to drill at all. The tabletop itself is mounted like this. There's a strip of sheet metal with threads inside the aluminium profile, and the tabletop is just screwed to this strip. Okay, let's mount the lift. One little concern I had was that I might not be able to lift the router up high enough so that I can reach the nut with a spanner from the top. But fortunately it turns out that this is not a problem at all. And reaching the spindle lock wasn't a problem either. So let's see how it works. Well, so far I'm pretty happy with the result, but still there are a few things which need to be done. For example, the machine has a mechanism to hold sleeves, and I think you can also use it to hold plates that make the hole smaller in order to adjust it to the individual router bits. And I still need to do something for the dust collection. The dust collection automatically starts as soon as I switch on the table saw. Of course, the same should happen as soon as I start the router. So far I'm not sure what I'm going to do. If I just unplug the hose from the saw and just plug it into the router, or should I make automatic blast gates? Well, I'm not sure yet. Anyway, this video was just about the router lift. So I'm just going to show you some more peaks. If you liked the video, maybe you can give me a thumb up, and if you want to, subscribe. See you next time.